Hey everyone, so, yeah, I thought it was a hoax too. Larryboy is getting a movie in 2026.
Yes, Bob, Larryboy Mania is sweeping the nation. If you're not on board, you're gonna miss the train.
I had no idea.
Now you do.
The SDA storyteller, and I'm going to cover some of the news about Larryboy. So, if you don't already know, our plunger-headed hero, he first showed up in 1996 in Dave and the Giant Pickle, and well, after all of that, he is finally getting a film, what is it, almost 30 years later? That's like perfectly on the dot. First report of it that we mainly saw was from Jesus Freak Hideout, which is like a Christian media website. At first, I thought maybe this is a parody. I've seen all sorts of jokes about like Larryboy joining the Marvel Universe, and no, it looks like it's legit. Big Idea and Kingston Studios partnered to release a new Larryboy theatrical film. That's right, not just direct to DVD or streaming or whatever. They are confident in this. They're going to release it in theaters. You're going to buy tickets, and well, we'll see how that goes. Long story short, it doesn't give much information, but you get like a lot of like praise for what Veggie Tales is. You then get this weird massaged history of Veggie Tales. Here we go. Historically, Big Idea has successfully released 2 theatrical films to date. Jonah, Veggie Tales Movie, 2002, and The Pirates Who Don't Do Anything, 2008, earning over $39 million combined at the box office. That's not a lot of money. Like The Star, which has no branding or any of that type of stuff, made, and of course it's a Christian film about the birth of Jesus, made $62 million in the box office. That's not even 2 movies combined. That is 1 movie alone. So I don't know why this is supposed to impress anybody. Anyway, not important. The important thing is they're making this film. And there's more information on this. But the big thing everyone's asking is, will Phil and Mike be a part of it? If you're not familiar, Phil and Mike have been fired alongside Kurt Heineke and Lisa Vischer. Kurt Heineke, of course, writes the music typically for Veggie Tales, and Lisa Vischer, who does all of the voices for Junior Asparagus. They've all left production. And honestly, if you listen to the podcast, it's completely new voices. And if the guys aren't going to help write, I don't know where the heart of the film is going to come from. You see, Phil Vischer is really interesting. Whenever he learns something, he implements it into his art. Check the podcast, check the most recent Veggie Tales series on Yippee. All of it kind of reflects his own spiritual journey as he's been working with these characters. And now we're going to get into speculation. So I am really worried about this film, okay? So NBC Universal, who owns Veggie Tales, who owns DreamWorks, all that stuff, just released Megamind, or their trailer for Megamind 2, in which they got nobody involved from the original series to make this show. And despite the myriad of animation mistakes, it just feels wrong. I can't imagine somebody who enjoyed and loved Megamind saying, oh, let's go watch Megamind 2. Which, don't get me wrong, it's going to be streaming directly onto Peacock, but it would be horrific if they put that in theaters. Now we're getting that same company, Universal, NBC, putting Veggie Tales back in front of us. And I have a theory of why. But let's first talk about Kingston Pictures, or Kingston Studios. Kingston Studios is mainly makes graphic novels, right? So they have the Bible, which, hey, that fits in, and they have a lot of American history comics. Now, here's the deal. If they were offering me a job, I probably would at least look into it. Don't get me wrong. But I am a little worried right now. Whenever I see the Bible and American history too interwoven, I get some weird Christian nationalist vibes. Now, I'm not an American, so maybe all you Americans are like, no, you can love your country and love the Bible equally. Emphasis on equally. That at least concerns me, because this leads to the next point. There are a lot of Christian films coming out in the next couple of years. And what I think is going on is there is a hope that Donald Trump wins the election. I know, I'm getting really tinfoil hatty here, but I think that when the last time Trump won, nobody pounced on the money they could have made off of the evangelical market. Instead, they were like, oh, it's a fluke. Everyone had been prepared for Hillary to win. And so when Donald Trump won, everyone was like, oh my goodness, we were all caught with our pants down. But if he wins this time, and the evangelicals have the control of basically the culture, then what's going to happen? Well, now evangelicals are going to want media. And we already have Angel TV prepping with their David film that's coming out, their CG animated David film. You've got the Bancroft brothers and their upcoming Jesus animated film. You've got everything from the musicals about Jesus, the upcoming Prince of Egypt coming on DVD. You've got Passion of the Christ 2. Martin Scorsese has a Jesus movie. Just like lots of hardcore Christian films. And it would be ridiculous not to take advantage of that from a Veggie Tales perspective. Once again, back to Jesus Freak Hideout, you'll notice that when discussing Veggie Tales, one of the first things they bring up is, well, money. Veggie Tales is the absolute gold standard for faith-based children's animation. We couldn't imagine a better brand in providing a big screen treatment for kids, and to bring Larryboy and the cast of memorable Veggie Tales characters back to the theaters, says Art Armis, CEO of Kingston Studios. Veggie Tales franchise remains the most successful faith-based children's series of all time. 1.7 billion in retail sales. So, I imagine they're expecting a wave of Christians purchasing their stuff. I do want to say one more thing about Kingston Studios. They have made a couple of films, mainly live action, and I believe they've done motion graphics for their comics. But if you just go to their page, you'll just see a big Larryboy in front of what I believe is a background from either Minions or Secret Life of Pets, which is, weird, but whatever. I don't think they can legally do this. And as far as their movies go, you can see No Vacancy is the big one that they're focusing on. But hey, whatever. They're a Christian company. I suppose it's going to have to be a Christian company doing pre-production better than just some random people. But here we go. My next bit of speculation, and everyone's kind of brought this one up already. We now have better news on who was the reason why Veggie Tales kind of became the way it was. Who let go of Phil and Mike. So it's implied that the Leslie Farrell, who says this about the Larryboy situation. Larryboy is a fan favorite. Who doesn't love a superhero with plungers on the side of his head? The fans are always asking to see more of him, says Leslie Farrell, Super SVP of Big Idea Content Group. With Larryboy in the lead role, we know we can deliver an entertaining movie for the whole family. Okay. So, and then it has this name, producer Mark Merrill of MKM Development, which I think is Missionary Kids. Yeah, Missionary Kid Media, which I've never heard of. But apparently he was formerly the head of Lyric Studios, who, they're also part of the reason why Veggie Tales got bankrupt. It's kind of like with all due respect to all the people working on this, because I know there's lots of people working on this, it's kind of a who's who of people that have been connected to some of the more interesting moments in Veggie Tales. So Lyric Studios, who would be involved in the suing of Veggie Tales and eventual bankruptcy, or Leslie Farrell, who would be the one to eventually fire Mike and Phil. These are the people you want in charge of your Veggie Tales. Anyway, Leslie historically has the strong feeling that Veggie Tales is a show for babies, or preschoolers, to clarify, and has been upset with the more, I guess, evergreen family content that Veggie Tales produces, and really wants to aim it towards children, which is what you see in things like Pirates Don't Do Anything. And I want to make a video at some point talking about how the Pirates Don't Do Anything is a movie for babies, which counteracts with things like Jonah, which is made for a family and anyone can enjoy. Anyway, that's my little bit of a rant. Phil, of course, said his stuff on X, formerly known as Twitter, and there's the quote right there, in which he does mention that the person who's in charge, they had no idea. None of the former Veggie Tales staff had any idea that they would be in this situation. And yeah, it's kind of sad that this is the world we live in, where Veggie Tales can be led by people who may not actually understand the franchise. But we'll see where this goes. I really hope that, we don't know, maybe Leslie will eventually throw her hands up and say, you know what, we need Phil and Mike. We can't make this film without them. Or we'll get a movie that, Chris Pratt as Larry the Cucumber. Here's the deal, that's not off the table, right? Like, once we got the new Universal and DreamWorks people in charge, you got a bunch of Christian celebrities voicing characters. Who better to get into a Veggie Tales franchise that would attract eyes than, Chris Pratt? Hey, before I wrap this up, I just want to do a shout out to my dear friends, John Bostic, and of course, the Larryboy Fanatic. You guys did some great research, and my video would not be what it is if it hadn't been for you guys. As well as, of course, Nintega Dario, Finn from Unofficial Veggie Tales podcast, and really anybody in the community who's already said something, right? That's your leaf raisers, that's every single one of you who beat me to the punch. So, shout me out in the comment section. That'd be cool. Hey, let's end this on a bright note. If you guys really are interested, tell me what you guys think a great plot for a Larryboy movie would be. Okay, what would be your dreams? What would you think would make a fantastic Larryboy film? It could be an origin story, and tell me what that origin story is. Hey, you put a good answer in the comments. My next video, when I talk about this, I will mention your story and we can kind of talk about what would make an amazing film. Hey, maybe I'll go off and reach out to Finn. I've been meaning to do a video with him for a while. Yeah. So, on the bright side, hey, at least the series isn't completely dead. And there is some hope. Just, don't get your hopes up too high. Anyway, that's all I can say. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'm the SEA Storyteller, signing out.
It's okay, Bob. I already have it memorized.
Your part?
No, my acceptance speech for the Academy Awards. You like me. You really, really like me.
Larry, that's
I'd like to thank all the little people whose names I can't remember.
Larry.
And so I accepted Best Actor and Lifetime Achievement Award, recognizing that once in a generation there comes an actor whose body of work embodies an entire body of water.
Larry.